let me make something a little bit clear for you then. So when I'm thinking about cold, I'm thinking about like there's just no emotion in the interaction whatsoever. It's just pure like I'm cold with you, heartless, emotionless, detached. And then fire, right? Fire is when things get hot, steamy, and there's lots of passion that's involved. So you could be passionately angry,
No.
or you could be passionately in love, but passion is the intensity behind the emotion. So what I'm saying is like if you was to now bring passion and there's anger and there's like disappointment, there's all these feelings, that's going to be dangerous. You probably don't want to bring passion right now. But you also have been doing the opposite, which is just no emotion, blocking it out. That's not ideal either. So warmth is a bit of a balance between the two, where you're not necessarily bringing full passion, but you're also not completely switched off. You're showing
Yeah.
warmth. So what do you think that might look like if it's somewhere in the middle? Yo, welcome back to Mo's Flow, the show where souls grow and hearts glow. And today's episode's a special one because it's one of the first ones, or maybe even the first one, where this is actually me addressing a topic of which one of the people in my YouTube comments, so shout out to Dark Man Beats Your Face. That's his YouTube name for real. But yeah, shout out to you, whatever your name really is. I'm sure that's not your birth name, but maybe it's your numerology name. I don't know. You might watch one of my previous episodes. But shout out to you for this topic today on reality transurfing and pendulums. So it was a comment that you put out earlier on today, giving thanks for some of the other content pieces that I've been putting out, enjoying them. And I really do appreciate you also giving me this topic to talk about. Why? Because then it's giving me feedback as to kind of what you're most deriving value and benefit from, which of course then others are gonna want to hear me speak on these kind of topics too. And I enjoy learning, right? So here's the truth: is that I'm not going to claim to be an expert in every single area of which people, put in as suggestions of what I can talk about. And as soon as you mentioned reality transurfing and pendulums, I personally have heard about it before. I've heard about reality transurfing. I know what a pendulum is, but I had to do a little bit of research to see exactly how they kind of link together. And like I said, it's not necessarily something that I'm an expert in, but because of the experience that I've got within like learning about manifestation, learning about quantum physics, and applying these arts and principles and sciences into my life, then I can definitely not only talk a little bit on the topic, but also I can provide a little bit of insight that might give you a little bit of a different perspective around this, as well as going on a journey today, and even me going through learning some stuff here today with you guys too. So I'm going to do a little bit of like a screen share as well as I start like going into some of the things that I found out about this. And it's such a great topic, I feel, because especially now, like we're going into a whole new 9-year cycle. And this is actually one of the things that earlier on this year, intuitively, I really felt like was such a big thing that's coming up into the future in terms of our advancement. Because even like if I go back about 5-6 years ago, I kind of felt as though I was living in the future. because I always saw that robotics and I saw that AI and algorithms were going to take over. And now we're living in a world in reality where it's like every single day, everything that you're seeing, or anyway, I'm seeing in the entrepreneurship is people talking about AI and how they're going to navigate this. So I believe that the exact same thing is going to be happening in a different world that isn't AI, and it's not robotics, but it's something that's even far more advanced in terms of our evolution as a species. So it's interesting because it's like it's almost as if we're going full circle back to origins, to what we used to be like in terms of our potential as human beings. Because this is again what like AI researchers and experts are saying, is that we are now in this new world of integrating with AI. As human beings, we are now going to have to be focusing on aspects of our human potential that don't include just our left brain and our intelligence. So it's now going to be about things like our empathy. It's going to be things like our hearts, our care, our intuition, our sixth sense. These are going to be some of the more important faculties for us to be able to master in this new golden age. So the thing with this is that it really does link in to what I see as being like the next era that we're about to head into. And this is what I was talking about on one of my previous videos. If you haven't seen any of them, highly recommend checking out. I think it was the one titled Authenticity is the New Economy. And I was just breaking down like how each era gave way to the next era. So this AI era is giving way to the new era that's about to come through, where humans and AI exist together, and where we're going to be operating as humans that have access to powers beyond just our physical ability, which is what it's been like for many, many years, beyond our knowledge and intelligence, but now tapping into our higher faculties, our intuition, and higher consciousness. So, yeah, it's so cool how like all of what I've been talking about over the last few episodes really links into what I'm going to be touching on right now. Because I remember another episode where I was talking about how I personally really believe that AI could advance further than human beings, with it being artificial intelligence, not in the area of intelligence. Like AI is definitely going to far surpass us when it comes to intelligence, but what I was actually talking about and referring to was how I didn't really think or couldn't see how AI would surpass us in terms of consciousness. Why? Because one thing that I know about human beings is that science proves that we're actually connected to 11 dimensions of reality. So we were having a conversation and someone was asking me about whether or not they thought that, or they were asking me if I thought whether or not AI would be able to be connected to these 11 dimensions of reality. And what I'm referring to here is not just connected to the universe, but the multiverse. And I had doubts about it. I was like, this is what's going to separate human beings and the AI. But I think I was wrong. Because after doing a little bit of research today, I'm actually seeing how, more and more the way that the researchers of these big AI companies are, and computing companies are like leaning towards the advancement of not just looking to make AI super intelligent, but then connecting that to a different form of computer science, which is called quantum computing. I don't know what quantum computing is, or first of all, even what the word quantum means. Let me go into a screen share and let's start going wild. So I'm I'm gonna quickly share my screen. So quantum definition. We'll come to a screen share over here. All right, here we go. So in physics, quantum is the minimum amount of any physical entity involved in an interaction. So it's just things that are super small. Another definition over here, it's a discrete quantity of energy proportional in magnitude to the frequency of the radiation it represents. Wikipedia says quantum is the minimum amount of any physical entity that's involved in a given interaction. So when we're talking about quantum physics, we're just talking about like the study of small things and quantum mechanics, which is not necessarily like the study of the external world and looking at the solar system and things that are bigger and wider, but it's actually looking at the things that exist on a smaller scale at the smallest possible level. So this is the quantum. And then, as I said, quantum computing is something that in computer science, like this is what these companies are racing towards in terms of research. So if I was to look up over here, I pulled it up before, quantum computing. What is quantum computing? And I'm just going to read this out. So quantum computing is an emergent field of computer science and engineering that harnesses the unique qualities of quantum mechanics, meaning the study of physics and computing together to solve problems beyond the ability of even the most powerful classical computers. So it's like everything that we've known up until this point in terms of computing has just been put into this one category of being like classical computers. Now we're going into the quantum, because classical computers was limited to just connected to the third dimension. Now, if you don't know what the different dimensions of reality are, just because I did slip over like what even the multiverse was, right? So I'm doing my best to cater to the audience of people who have not studied anything quantum before and don't really know what I'm talking about. So when we talk about the multiverse instead of the universe, the multiverse is a hypothetical space or realm consisting of a number of universes, of which our own universe is only one. The universe considered as lacking order or a single ruling and guiding power, right? So, funnily enough, over here, it's talking about it being a hypothetical set of all universes. But as much as it's saying that it's hypothetical, the amount of research right now that is going into, creating these quantum computers is showing that they probably don't fully believe that it's totally hypothetical. It's like something of which has a lot of value potentially with it being real, but it's not just like a stab in the dark. It's more like, yeah, they're building new technology based off of it. So there's the multiverse, and then another thing that I want to show you is what the multiverse really looks like by explaining the 11 dimensions of reality, right? So if I go into Google and I search in the 11 dimensions of reality, then you can see over here that we've got some of these dimensions that you might be familiar of because you should have gone to school. And in school, they've been telling you about the first dimension, the second dimension, the third dimension. So we know all of this, really. It's like the first dimension being just a simple line between 2 points. The line has length only. The second dimension, oh, sorry, I wasn't showing the tab. The second dimension is after the line, which is just length. Now you have a length and width. So it's going to be the dimension which creates 2D shapes, things like squares, rectangles, triangles. So this is now the second dimension. I don't know what happened there. Let's go back. Yeah. So in the second dimension, a three-dimensional object intersecting the second dimension appears as a cross-section of the object. So we have free movement in the first dimension. It can move in length as much as it wants in the 2D. However, with the third dimension, now it doesn't just have length and width, but you've got length, width, and height. So this is something that you can now hold. Our own physical bodies, these are everything that operates within the physical third dimension. So a square that is in the third dimension is now a cube, like a Rubik's Cube, or a box. This is the third dimension. And like I said, the biggest difference here is the fact that you've got three dimensions of length, width, and height. So in the third dimension, we can now jump over the square or move anywhere in the 2D world at will. We have free movement in the second dimension. Now, after the third dimension, most people don't know what happens after this. So like, there's a fourth dimension. Yeah, there's a fourth dimension. It's like, people when they go into the cinema and they're like, yeah, you either do 2D or 3D. The 3D is where all the objects, like, you can almost hold them, is what it feels like. I've never had a 4D cinema experience before, so that's something that I'll have to do at some point. But in physics, the 4D is now not just about the length, width, height, but it also brings in duration. So with there now being duration, you have this timeline over here. This is time, and this is the line. So you have a time line, and there is one singular timeline that goes from this point in time to this other point in time. So in the second dimension, we can only see cross-sections of the third dimension. Likewise, in the third dimension, we can only see cross-sections of the fourth dimension. And this is what we perceive as duration from one time period to the next. We only have free movement in one direction of time. So our path through time is determined by our choices, random chance, and the influence of others. We have free movement in the third dimension. So this is where, like, if you think about this and how it relates to the levels of consciousness, what I would be saying about somebody who's operating more so in the fourth dimension is that they're no longer just a creature of circumstances. They're not just reacting to their own reality, but they also recognize that they can take responsibility, take ownership, and go and get a result. Like, they can work hard towards it. They're in that hustler consciousness. Now, if you don't know what the levels of consciousness are, let me quickly show you this as well. So we've got the 4 levels of consciousness, which is something of which you can literally search on Google. See, all the people say, like, you can't access information on Google. They just ain't looking, right? Google has all the information there practically. It's there for you to see. It's just how much are you actually using your questions to search. So here's the thing: 4 levels of consciousness. Like I said, that third dimension, people who are only able to operate there, they're not really even recognizing their own power to go and create what it is that they want. So they're in a victim consciousness. This is 80 to 90% of the population who believe that life happens to them and are always asking a question of, why is this the case? Why is life happening to me? Why am I so poor? Why am I so unfortunate? Like, this is the question that they ask. Whereas at the second level, this is where life happens by you, right? So over here, it's like a hustler's mentality. You're still going upstream, but rather than just giving up and staying stuck and being miserable about it, like, you're actually doing something. It's just that everything's going to feel like a struggle. It's going to feel like hard work. And you can get there eventually, but nowhere near as quick as the person who will be flowing downstream. So life happens by you at this point, but it's still ego and fear driven. And in order to go into a higher dimension, higher level of consciousness, higher level of operating where you can get results much quicker, you have to be able to ascend through your level of consciousness, let go of control, and you've got to be able to dissolve the ego to some degree to make it translucent, so that now trust and love can be your inspiration as opposed to being fear driven. And then this is where, when you're operating from the third and fourth aspect of consciousness, which is where life happens through you or life happens as you're now stepping into your flow and experiencing soul-aligned success. It gets you closer to enlightenment and oneness with spirit. So this is all about actually unlearning most of what you have taken in from conditioning that has kept you playing small. So at this higher level, now, this is where you are able to tap into not just the 4D and the fourth dimension of reality, but you can even be going into the fifth dimension, right? So what happens in the fifth dimension of reality? Well, in the fifth dimension, this is where all possible outcomes of your life and the decisions that you make are accessible. Okay, but even before I say that, like, what is the fifth dimension? It's 3 dimensions plus multi-movement. So if you look at what it still contains, imagine that there's a box here in the middle. I think it's a bit confusing when they don't have that there, but imagine there's still the 2 boxes with one point in time and then a second point in time. So we've got this, but we've got multi-movement. So there's not just one timeline, but there's several timelines, meaning that you've now opened the realm and the door to possibility. So this is showing that you can move backwards or forwards in time with ease to see ourselves in any given time period, but we cannot change our past or our future, as we only have movement within our own timeline. We have movement back and forth in the fourth dimension. So there's a multitude of paths now that we can branch into at any given moment. This is where your actual frequency that you're operating from is going to be a big of how quickly you're able to collapse a time frame. So it's now a smaller time frame, it's a different timeline, and now, like, you're able to acquire the results of what you want much quicker, because you've almost stepped into a new body, physical body, as a different energy being, and you have a different reality that you have associated yourself into. So this actually relates to that question that someone, or the whole topic of conversation, because reality transurfing, that's the topic of the call today. What is reality transurfing? Well, reality transurfing, if I don't think it says it on here. Let me type in the definition of reality transurfing. Reality transurfing is a concept developed by Vadim Zeland that combines elements of quantum physics, personal development, and metaphysical beliefs. It posits that infinite versions of reality exist, and individuals can surf into the reality where their desires are already fulfilled by shifting their thoughts, energy, and behavior. So unlike traditional law of attraction teachings, reality transurfing offers a step-by-step method for navigating different life tracks by aligning one's internal state with the desired reality. So essentially, it serves as a guide to transforming one's perception of reality and life experiences. But what I feel like is the best way to describe it is as it says, it is now transcending your current reality and surfing into another one, surfing downstream into a higher dimension where you can attract different physical things into your life because you've stepped into a new reality, one of these newer timelines that we were talking about before. So this is what transurfing is. And so to answer the other question about, okay, what is a pendulum and how does that link in? Well, a pendulum is, well, let's have a look over here. A pendulum, in accordance to reality transurfing, is created by the energy of a group of people thinking in the same way. A pendulum is an energy-based information structure. So people who think in the same direction create invisible energy informational structures that directly affect us in a daily life. A pendulum maintains the thought energy of the adherent at its own vibrational frequency. So it's essentially like a thought condensate, a soul of a thing, an idea, doctrine, organization, ideology of anything that has admirers, supporters, followers, and fanatics. When a pendulum is established, it strives to stay alive. A pendulum is energetic structure and it feeds off of energy. Therefore, it tries to attract as many adherents as possible. And as long as the adherents are contributing their thought energy to it, it keeps on swinging. Okay, so if you don't know what a pendulum is, by the way, outside of the realm of reality transurfing and physics, a pendulum is something that looks like this. It's where you've got a swing that's attached to a lever, and then from there it's going to be swinging to two different points, and you have a maximum potential energy, maximum kinetic energy at the bottom, meaning it's going the fastest here, and then a highest point of swing on the right as well. So this is like one of the best depictions of what life actually gives us, because in life, one of the laws of the universe is something that we call the law of equilibrium, meaning that everything is always going to be seeking this balance point, which is the middle. And when we're operating from the equilibrium position, when we have inner alignment, then we start having our external reality that reflects this. When we have this inner equilibrium, inner balance, our life externally becomes a whole lot more balanced as well. And things start to flow. Because if you think about it, when you're surfing, the idea is to balance the surfboard so that you're able to maintain your time in flow surfing this wave. So it's the same thing with reality transurfing too. It's like if you keep getting knocked out of balance because of your energy is being affected by others, and you are on either extreme, giving your energy towards a particular thing, you're either, like, the best way to put it is that you can pedestal something where you're very conscious of all the benefits of it, but you're unconscious of the negatives. Or what you can do is you can put something into a pit, and that's where you're conscious of all of the negative things, but you're unconscious of the benefits. Neither one of these is the balance point, and so you're actually not being efficient with your energy. Whereas when you come into equilibrium and you can see things not necessarily how you think they are or what your own truth is, but you see things as they are from a place of truth, this is where you're going to be able to have the maximum amount of flow and balance within your life, right? Which is why, like, even when you look at, for example, I relate it to the emotional cycle of change. Whenever you're going into a new venture, whether it's a business opportunity, you're learning a new thing, we all go through this emotional cycle of change. What is emotion? Emotion is energy in motion. So what's happening is, in the beginning, often instead of being in this place of balance, this is equilibrium, this line over here, we start off where we're not supposed to be, which is uninformed optimism, right at the very beginning. And if you're uninformed optimism, you can be really excited, but that's not actually the ideal. The ideal is this line. This line is the line of being certain. This line is steadfastness. So if we're too emotional, then we're going to start off by being off balance and within uninformed optimism. And it's fine. Everybody starts here. But then as we become more into balance, like, we actually progress. We get to a stage of informed pessimism. So we can actually now be taking in information and seeing, oh, this is why you have certain downsides of the things that you were pedestaling. So it brings you back to reality. But then what happens is that you go into the valley of despair. And this is where you start to become overly conscious of the negatives of something because you've experienced it now, and you're unconscious of the benefits again. And you've gone into another extreme. So if we go back to that pendulum, it's like you were on one extreme of the pendulum, now you're on the other side. And the only way to get it to being on all the way on the other side of the pendulum again is where you can come back to the equilibrium point. And from rushing closer to this, this is what puts you into that flow state. And that's why, through going in this direction, eventually you experience success. But from success brings complacency, it brings arrogance, it brings new challenges and new uninformed optimism. So the whole thing just ends up starting again. And we're just continuously going through these cycles. But what most people do whenever on their journey to success is that they will get to a certain standpoint in time where it gets difficult. And usually people will quit anywhere on the left-hand side of this chart over here. They experience the valley of despair. They're conscious of all the downsides. And so because they're conscious of downsides, they think that there's a problem with something external rather than noticing that it's them that's actually not integrating the conscious and the unconscious. Them that's not actually willing to push through to success. So that's what I would say is like the pendulum in motion, like, you know, on an individual level. But yeah, if I go back to the page where we were on before, which was the, so it was the pendulum image. Pendulums in practice, right? So this is over here. This is like talking about pendulum on a wider scale, you know, with the whole collective. And what it's kind of showing is that when we've got pendulums in practice, then the example it's giving here is those starving children in Africa. Is it my fault? Am I responsible? You feel that you're not the cause of starving children in Africa. You're doing enough to help people. You feel that you played no negative part, contributed positively to any of those things in the physical world. But Neville Goddard says that we transform ourselves in the likeness of that which we contemplate. So at some level, you're leaking your energy and feeding these invisible energy structures that are behind those global problem concepts. And whilst you watch the news about poverty in children in Africa, it may elicit in you an emotional response like anger, fear, sympathy, and much more. But your response and the response of everybody else is sending out the same frequency that just feeds the pendulum, which is swinging and taking you and everybody else with it. And this is part of the reason for why it's like, even though you know that there's things going on in other countries and it's things that you don't like, you don't want it to happen, the more that you simply like go out and start protesting and you actually give more energy to that particular thing, you're not doing it any real favors. You're actually just perpetuating the experience itself. So it doesn't matter how hard you try to fight the government and you try to change things, because as long as you keep providing the pendulum with your thought energy, it is bound to keep on swinging, and it is expected that it will feed more reasons to keep expending your energy to its cause. And you stop, giving energy to it, is the same moment where you come into this balance, this equilibrium point, and you're no longer like more conscious of negatives than you are benefits. You've come to a point of being in a place of understanding the polarity of the experience, because this is another law of the universe, is the law of polarity. So I've been talking a little bit about the laws of the universe, and I think that it would be good to sort of show, what are the laws of the universe? Because these are the rules of the game, right? And the more that you know the laws of the universe, the more you know what's going on. I've just seen Yasmin hopped in. Welcome, 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 welcome. How are we doing?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I don't know how long you've been here.
I didn't want to interrupt you while you were in your flow.
Okay. How long were you there?
Not long, about 5 minutes.
Okay, maybe none of this makes sense.
No.
So I will quickly explain what I was just about to say, which is the different laws of the universe. There's 12. I'm not sure how many of these you've heard of or seen before, but there's the law of divine oneness, the law of vibration, the law of codependence, the law of attraction, the law of inspired action, the law of perpetual and transmutable energy, the law of cause and effect, the law of compensation, the law of relativity, the law of polarity, the law of rhythm, and the law of gender. How many of these have you heard of before?
Definitely a few there. Divine oneness, vibration,
Yeah.
attraction, relativity. I didn't know gender was a law. I guess it is, should be, I guess. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't know there was an actual, yeah. Yeah, I guess maybe 4 out of all of them. 4 or 5 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if like these are the main 12 laws. Like I think these are actually a better yeah, because this one's got the law of correspondence in. That was one that wasn't in before. But yeah, these are some of the laws. So the law that I was just about to link to what I was just talking about with the pendulum is the law of polarity, because the person who is unconscious of the positives in a particular area is not operating from a balanced perspective. And so because of that, they're actually feeding energy towards that which they don't want to create.
Negative
But when you
energy.
come into balance and you have a perspective of which you're seeing things as they are, which is everything has both good and bad to it. When you see things as they are, like you're not being impulsive or being instinctual, you're being intuitive. And that's the place where you experience the maximum amount of flow, and just all these other laws of the universe start working in your favor as well. So yeah, the master is the one who is able to not only know what all of these laws are, it's important to know each one of these, but to know how can you utilize them to your benefit as well, so that you're certain about results that you can be acquiring in your life with ease.
Right. So like basically be in the balance position, like what's the word I'm looking for?
Equilibrium. Or equilibrium.
Not in excess of either one. Like don't go to excess in either direction. Be in the middle.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can be objective. Be in the objective place rather than leaning to either side.
Exactly. So this is why I was saying, like, if I apply this to real life, I don't know, did you see me bring up the emotional cycle of change?
I did see the diagram that went like that.
Yeah, that's the emotional cycle of change. So the thing is it's like when you first start off, when you're in uninformed optimism, that's for example, let's say that you're marketing yourself or you're doing sales in business. What that comes across like is that person who's a salesperson and they're just overly excited and they're just talking about all the benefits and how this is the most incredible thing, because maybe they're not even conscious of some of the downsides.
Yeah.
So that's like the initial place that a salesperson will start. But then when they develop more confidence, they might actually swing to the other extreme. And that's the direction that they're going to go in, is that they're going to start experiencing difficulties. They're going to start experiencing hard times, winter seasons. So they'll become very conscious of the downsides. But on the way there, they're going to get to a balance point. which is exactly where you want to be, and that's where they're going to get the best results for a little bit of time. But then everything beyond that's going to get worse. So here's the thing, it's like in that emotional cycle of change, people, whilst they're being emotional, are not actually spending that much time on the straight path.
Right. But if it's a cycle, it means you're inevitably going to go the opposite way and then come back.
Exactly. So the idea is that, okay, it's not necessarily to not be emotional, because when you are more in tune with your emotional aspect, that's like 95% of your operating system. So to just shut that off is it's like playing the game on hard mode as well. And you're going to be going really slow. But when you're able to be alive and be emotional, there will be tough times, and there'll be other times that are more easy, more downstream. But the idea is that you want to be able to quickly get out of the bad times,
Right.
and recognize as well with preparation that while something is incredibly good, like don't
get complacent.
Yes, don't get complacent in that time. It's like when you're getting in the harvest, the one who isn't the wise person is going to eat all the food whilst they're there. But the one who's the one who's going to be like, yo, we're going to need this for the next like season where there's not going to be any rain coming in. So
start putting away.
But to be honest, when you said that, when I was listening to it in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is like from the Sunnah, isn't it? Like to have moderation in everything, what you eat, in everything, literally everything. Prayer also, even in your salah, and everything, you have to have moderation.
Do you know what the so as Muslims, right, pray 5 times a day. Do you know what the Surah Al-Fatiha is translated to, what it means?
Yeah.
What's the main prayer, the main ask that you've got in the surah?
Guide me onto
the straight path, not of those who have led astray, of those who have got your anger.
Exactly. That straight path is that
where
path.
you want to be.
Yeah.
Which is why
the straight path. Yes, there are mustaqim.
Yeah. Everything is about getting to this point of staying in flow. Yeah. Because people, whilst they're, on either extreme, that's where the best thing that you can get from God is like, just directing you closer and closer to the flow.
Coming back to that straight.
Yeah. Which, when you think about it, it's like, okay, how can you be guided back towards it if, number one, you don't even know where you are?
Yeah.
Right? You have to know, first of all, are you on that chart, like in the
beginning? Where are you
beginnings?
on the chart, really, to be able to know where you're going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting point.
What are you praying for? Are you praying for more, like consciousness of the downsides of something, or are you praying for more consciousness of the upsides of something? Like that's also something that's
you don't want to be in excess of both.
We're kind of guided to what to pray for, but every individual's prayer is different.
Yeah. Each person
and every individual's need is different, but there is a fundamental you should pray for.
Yes.
But that straight path could be different things for different people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is necessary for prayer. If you don't have self-awareness, then it's a generic prayer.
You're just
doing harm for you, but at the same time, it's like you won't know if what you've prayed for has been fulfilled on.
Because you don't know what you asked for.
You don't know what you asked for.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, of course.
So if you was to look at like where you feel like you're at right now in terms of that emotional cycle of change in, pick an area of your life. It can be business, relationships, like any area. When you look at that cycle, like where do you feel like you might be right now?
I think the business cycle would be definitely more conscious of the downsides. Yeah, but not yet tipping to go the other way. No? What do you think? I'm at the start of going the other way. Somewhere over there, like somewhere in that curvy, but
I'll pull up the chart, right? Let's get a placement on where you think you might be right now.
I'd be interested.
Okay.
So you feel like you are.
Open this.
You feel so you don't feel like you're at stage 1.
So I don't think I'm at stage 1. Definitely not. I'm not uninformed at all. Right.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're at stage 2 or you're not here?
I'm informed, but I'm not pessimistic at all either. So I don't think I'm at stage 3 either. I'm not in the valley of despair, that's for sure.
Okay. So a question is, do you feel like you've been through stage 2 and stage 3, or is that something that you haven't gone through yet?
I don't think I've gone right down into the valley of despair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, I have not been in despair at all over the last year. Since I went from stage 1. I think I'm somewhere at stage 4, but I've not gone right down there. Maybe I've tipped somewhere in the middle of it when I had like a few down days, but I didn't go like into a despair state.
Stage 2.
But maybe that just might be my personality. I don't really get, to that despair where I feel hopeless. I've never.
Yeah, we both don't.
Yeah.
No. So what it simply might be is that, like, for some people, for them to get to the despair, it doesn't take much. Like, they could put out a post on social media. The post doesn't get 1,000 likes, so they go into the valley of despair.
Right. Yeah. I know. I see what you mean. Yeah, but I don't think like when I hear the word despair, it's like quite extreme. I don't think I've ever gone to that extreme.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, some people are just more
like sensitive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't take a lot to take them off. But I feel like I'm a bit like that too. So I can go through a lot before I go into despair.
Yeah, you have to like really.
Yeah. But it's also inevitable. Like,
there may be
it will happen at some point, but it's just going to be.
Yeah, but like again, I think despair would be different for different people, and the way they react to it would be different.
But it's the same thing. Failure is failure, isn't it?
No. So this is the thing. Like, you don't go into despair. You don't go into despair because of failure. It's more so because of
hopelessness.
No. It's like your, I don't want to say tolerance, but it's your capacity. That's the word. So it's what your capacity is. So if you're someone like me, and a bit like yourself as well, it sounds like you will have a high pain capacity.
Oh yeah, I am. I got a high pain threshold.
Yes, high pain capacity. You can take it. So it's all good. But there's a level for you where it's like, okay, this is a lot now. And so, like, for me, I could take pain capacity for a very long time, especially when it was just me doing disciplined work in my business. Where I got hit was when, as an empath especially, I then started to take on the pains of other people around me, and that became overwhelming. And that's when I got into my valley of despair.
Right.
So
I've never done that.
I think Yasmin, if she was to have to delete a post or delete something she's done, I think it would mean she would just delete the whole. She'd failed in that thing and should delete the whole profile and start again. I think you go forward and you keep things.
Yeah,
you have. I've where I delete things or
would you think that would be my value of the space? I got to that point. That's my
when you think that's you've done that once or twice where you've been like, right, that's it. I'm just gonna delete this profile. But otherwise, you have kept profiles for long.
But I think again, like that, it's not a value of despair. It's more like it's just part of the process. It's just you're doing what's got to be done. And I feel like where you're at right now, Yasmin, is so what it sounds like is that you're actually probably close to the straight line. What are you going to say?
I think stage 4, no?
No.
Somewhere there.
I think you're still at stage 2.
Right, I haven't gotten down there yet.
But you're walking along this
path. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that I feel like stage 3 for you would be like potentially, you could be a year down the line and you've got like potentially a lot of success that you've got in your business come from your own efforts. And one of the things that could take you into the valley of despair could be 2 of the top 3 leaders who, helped you get there. Like they just decided to leave at some point. Something just hits you when you're at a real high. You could be traveling the world. You could be like making 10, 15K months, and then it just stops. That could hit you because you've come from a higher point.
Yeah.
Had a taste.
Yeah. So the fall then it can get you. But what I'm saying is that your pain threshold, your pain tolerance sounds like it's quite high, and that's a trait of leadership.
Something big.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It had to be something big for you just
Yeah, because like some people when they used to run ads, and again, this is like one of the reasons for why I created the whole done for you thing, because I was like, I know what it's like running ads. Sometimes you make a good ad, your ad's working, and then for some stupid reason, like Facebook shuts down your ads manager. You can't do anything about it. It happened to me on my TikTok. Like I built my TikTok up to 3,000-4,000 followers, and we were getting super cheap leads on TikTok. I was getting such traction, momentum, and then out of nowhere they were like, "Yo, we're banning your account." Couldn't do anything. Couldn't speak to them. Nothing. So this is the thing. Like some people with small things like that, because in the grand scheme of things, that was one of my small things, and I just navigated it somehow. For some people, that is enough to tip them off the edge and be like, "Yeah, I'm done now." But for the leaders, like you can take a lot more, and you get hit with more. you get hit with more because you can take more. It's just building that capacity more and more and more. So so you I would say kind of like here, which is why you want to be grateful for being on the straight path and being in the flow. Things are going to be good. They can stay good, but
and don't become complacent when you start to see it getting good or better.
Yeah. Like the main thing here is to just, as you said, it's a bit like what it's like being at the top here. Things are about to tip in a direction of getting slightly worse, and where you are right now, it's like when you think about it, truthfully speaking, in order for you to now start getting your success and results, like things will have to kind of get worse. Things will have to get worse because you have to invest more time. Things will have to get worse because you have to manage more people when they start coming into your organization. Things will have to get worse because you're going to get more hate, more people coming and giving you judgment and things like that. So it's almost like the more that you're able to endure the things getting worse and worse and worse, then eventually you'll get to the stage where things will just start getting better and better and better. Because as soon as it's like, yeah, there's no way things can get any worse, how it feels anyway, that's when you know everything will get better.
The only way is up from there, from the lowest point.
Yeah. But
I don't want to say worst. I'd say difficult points.
Yeah.
And
worst case scenarios, like difficult case scenarios.
Exactly. So the thing is it's like there could be circumstances that are happening of which are testing you, are shaping you, or just character building. But because of your faith, because of your balance that you have internally, your alignment and your equilibrium, you can stay on the straight path. There's just no falling off. And I feel like that is the best divine protection that you can be blessed with, is like, just keep me on the straight path. I'm on the straight path right now. Keep me on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no falling off.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be a falling off. If you do, you fall here. But whilst you're on the straight and narrow, like, you will just be able to get the fastest towards the goal that you have in place. And the thing is, what I'd say is as well is like, this is an overarching version of it where it's kind of like your journey as on a macro level in years almost. But I think this happens like on a day-to-day basis. You'll start off the day really excited, and then it's like, oh crap, this is
the worst part of the day.
And then it's like, oh, I actually did it. Perfect. Next day. So it's just a collection of these, to be honest.
It's a swing, isn't it? It swings.
Everything happens in cycles, isn't it? From the micro to the macro, it's all in cycles.
Yes,
exactly. And that is the law of correspondence. How about you, Idris? Where do you feel like you are right now?
Oh, you see, I have that valley of despair, yeah, the capacity to, but where Yasmin has,
you get there quicker.
I get to that point quicker, and she's seen that over the years.
I just pull him out of it.
But like you said, I think the dean, Yasmin, friends, my own
positive
mindset as well
pulls you out of it.
Pulled me out of it quite quickly, and I always stay at stage 2, but at the beginning. I'd say I make an uninformed optimism. I get to that stage 2, and can't get beyond that. I can't get onto that. But I'd say stage 2, beginning.
But you keep in the valley of despair now and again.
I'm kind of at that point where that black dot
between
is.
2 and 3.
I can. I have the capacity. Yeah, I do. Without Yasmin, I would have made silly decisions and got to stage 3 a long time ago. But
stage 3 is great.
Stage 3 is good. You want to get there so you can get out as quick as possible.
Yeah, and
I've
always been able to get back up.
What's 4, yeah.
So I've got experience.
Maybe you're at 4 then.
I have experience of stage 3. I'll tell you, that's it. And I know how to get out of it.
Maybe you're at stage 4.
But I don't know how to do the end of stage 2, 4, and then 5.
When you say you don't know how to do it, what do you mean by that?
You don't get to that, you mean?
I've got fulfillment, yeah.
I've
got informed optimism, but it's a mixed. I can't say it's full, like success.
Yeah. So here's the question: what do you think is required to go beyond stage 3?
The right help, the guide, the right decisions, making the right decisions, sticking to your plan,
Mm.
avoiding debt, avoiding too much like owing people, so you're just on your own. As you're walking along that line, you need to be debt free, I think. So there's nothing getting in your way of going ahead. Does it? I think it helps to be stress free of things. You have to let go of some things in stage one, in the beginning of stage two, they have to be completely gone to keep going. If they're still there, stage three pulls you down very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, can you see what it says on the chart at the bottom?
Push through
to success. Yeah.
But what about on the other side? What does it say?
Repeat. Go back. Repeat.
Go and repeat phase 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Go back to beginning, square one.
You've got two types of people. You've got one person who sees stage 3 as feedback that they did something wrong.
Yes.
So they keep going back to 1.
Like you've done something wrong. Yeah, you made a mistake to get you to that point.
Yeah. But the thing is that because people are so afraid of being wrong, then rather than accepting that truth that you were wrong, people will retreat and jump onto something else instead and ignore the fact that they were wrong about something. Because what it requires to come out of stage 3 is humility.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You got to be like, I messed up. I was wrong. And the only way for me to kind of correct this, it's not to run away from what happened and blame the external. It's to take ownership and be like, yeah, now it's time for me to make an adjustment and keep going. Because it wasn't wrong that you took the action. It was just the way you did it put you into that pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you're moving from stage 1 to stage 3 and it's just repeating in that cycle, that's because you keep quitting things.
Mm.
And that's been one of my things, I guess.
That's been me for the last 5 years.
And that's been
things and then quitting and going find something else and trying and quitting and trying. That's just I said the last video, one of the previous ones. This is the longest I've ever, stuck with anything, business-wise, online business-wise.
Yeah, and because again, like when it comes to if you want to have a successful relationship with another person, at the end of the day, like what you're describing here is loyalty to your business. So if you want to be loyal in a relationship and have someone loyal to you, easiest way to do that is tell them all the worst things about you up front.
From the beginning.
From the very beginning. Here's the worst parts about who I am.
I think that, it makes so much sense, that. Because we did that really upfront, innit?
Pretty much from day one.
Yeah, because we didn't want to repeat what happened in like our previous marriages.
This is it.
Yeah, from day one, I told Yasmin exactly. She knew.
This is me, whatever. You either go forward or we don't. That's it.
Exactly. So, like, the successful relationships are not the ones where people put on a facade and like a presentation that is masking just to get the person in. No, that's a frowned upon insecurity.
That was the first marriage for me.
Yeah,
definitely.
Same.
Yeah.
You felt like you portrayed that picture, or
no? The other party did.
Okay, so you were
big time.
You were unconscious of the downsides of that other person. You was infatuated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. That's the same thing that will have happened with your like relationships with other business models. You was infatuated by them.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just took it because you just needed it.
Or like something must have caught the eye to say, oh, this looks interesting, or maybe it looked easy.
Yeah,
or whatever.
You're fascinated by the company, or the company's name.
The people's marketing is very good.
Exactly. So the thing about marketing
traction
is that like a lot of it is where people are not necessarily transparently marketing, and they're just showing the things that they know will impulse a person in.
Yes.
So your impulse is where you're conscious of the upsides, but you're unconscious of the downsides.
Yep. You only know the downsides once you've paid them.
Yeah,
but you can't get your money back.
But if you're given a good product then it leaves a good taste.
You might be lucky. You might be lucky that somebody impulses you into something, but then even after being impulsed, the downsides you're still okay with, just because there's compatibility. But that's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a gamble for that to happen.
Yeah.
So you're not truly doing a person a service if you have an intention for a long-term relationship, if you're not sharing the downsides as well as the upsides.
Yeah.
Of course. Doomed for failure. Just like the Titanic. Didn't go enough lifeboats. So
They did not have enough lifeboats in the Titanic, no. That was a problem.
That's the problem.
Oh, it was done on purpose.
Oh, it was done on purpose.
I'm going to show you something over here that will help you all see another way of looking at the emotional cycle of change.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm there. There, that black dot is exactly.
They're usually waving.
I think you're here. P.
Okay, here we go.
P-E.
On the pessimist. Grief cycle. Denial, anger, bargaining.
So it starts with denial.
Yes. This is like the pain that you experience at every level within your journey. So the pain that you are going to be dealing with at each stage. In stage 1, the pain is going to be around denial. Stage 2, it's going to be around anger that you'll start experiencing. Then it's going to be bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
The depression is the last thing. Well, second from last thing. I thought that would come more higher before anger.
You thought it would come before anger?
Yeah, I thought it'd be denial, depression, anger.
It would be at least at the pit, like at the bottom.
But it's interesting that depression comes after struggling to find meaning.
Yeah, because this is, when you think about it, this is the most painful part of the process.
Yeah. But to get to that point, would you need to be depressed?
No.
No, okay.
No. Depression is like the longer duration that happens afterwards. This is more like the pain of impact once you've been injured, but it's not being injured, it's getting injured.
Yeah. Interesting. Denial. When you get angry.
Yeah, it's like
That's
if
fine.
you're right now at stage 2, Yasmin, it's like the emotion that maybe will actually help you at this point is to feel the frustration, to feel a little bit of the anger and the irritation, because that can kind of kick you into gear a little bit. But like I said, it's only when you are coming away from the flow, if you felt like you have come away from it in whatever reason. So I give you an example. It's like with ads, you've been saying,
I'm gonna do it.
I'm going to do ads. And then you didn't do the ads, and this you feel about it. And I can tell there's a little bit of frustration there you got. But
yeah, I can tell it as well.
Yeah,
I'm
but you want to
frustrated
feel
at myself mostly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you want to feel that. You want to feel that anger, because then it gets to the point where you can start moving through the process of it, and getting to a point where you're exploring options and moving on. But I think that you do kind of move through this quite independently from what I've seen anyway. Like, you're not someone that will dwell too long in this place. You will quickly bounce up. So this is another thing that I wanted to show you then, to kind of show
it doesn't have to be
doesn't have to be long.
Despair for like months and months. It just could be like a short-term despair.
Yeah, it does it can be really quick. So how Alex Hormozy was breaking it down is that there's how you normally act, then there's bad thing that happens, which is like a traumatic thing, and then stage 3 is how much you act out of how you will usually act, and then this is how long you restabilize, how long before you restabilize, which again could be a few minutes, could be a second, could be years, depending on what it is. And then how you are after you act. So you're either going to be someone who takes the traumatic experience and uses it a reason to be worse than you are. That's what lots of people choose to do that are victims. Or you could be a victor and use that experience as a reason to now be better than you were from before. But in order to get to this stage, you have to accept that a bad thing happened. Because a bad thing that happens is just anything that goes against your preference.
Yeah. I think I'm like that generally. Even like, I'm not talking about business now, but just like in general. I think if I get angry or upset at something, I can quickly, I get upset, but I can come out of it like quickly, like within a few minutes. I think I'd say what I need to say, and then I can come back to normal.
So what that means is that you have high resilience.
Yeah.
Because time period is really short for you.
Yeah. I don't hold on to stuff for long.
Yeah. That's high resilience. Whereas the other day, when you were kind of expressing about how you felt around like the South Africa childhood racism, things like that, that's an area where you had lower resilience, but it's not every single thing that you are doing. So the idea is that when we're talking about, being able to really heal from trauma and how it has such a massive impact, it's because you're only as good as your standard. So if in one area, like you're experiencing a particular emotion that's holding you down, it's like that can actually be affecting other areas of your life, which is why it's good to become conscious of the unconscious aspects of who you are, things like that. So tolerance is so that's exactly what I was saying. For you, your tolerance is super high pain tolerance, because it takes you a long time to fall. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm same. Takes a long time to fall. Then your fortitude is how low do you fall when you fall? Do you go like all the way down in the
No.
deepest, darkest places of despair for every little thing, or do you
No.
just drop a little bit? You just get a little bit
Drop a
frustrated,
little, and then
Yeah. She samples it and she's like, no, I don't like this. I'm getting that.
But I think also it's maybe like you said, why I have that difference with the other issue in my childhood is because it's people I don't know now. You know, I don't know them.
Yeah,
But like with him now, if he does something that I don't like or that I don't agree with, then I tell him I have to say something. I can't just be quiet and hold it inside me and think and conjure up some plan in my head. I'm not that kind of person. I just let you know immediately. Oh, hold on, I don't like this. This is not acceptable, or whatever. And then I'm out. It's out of me, and then I feel better after that.
Yeah, because the thing is, I actually think that your tolerance and fortitude is really good. I think it's your resilience that's not as high as you might think it is, because you don't even allow yourself to go low. You don't really allow yourself to go that low from anything.
She hasn't sampled it.
When you say low, what is low? How low do you go? How low can you go?
There are some people who go like, they get so angry, so upset, like it because it's intense.
So,
So there are people like that who they've got not so good fortitude, and they will really drop. When they drop, like, you feel it. It might happen momentarily, but they'll do something outrageous. Like, I used to live with a guy who his fortitude was so like not the best, because a little thing between him and his partner, who he was dating at the time, like, he would pick up his favorite TV and just throw it at her. Like, mental. Like, he did not.
I know that's not a good relationship to get into.
But his resilience was amazing, because even though he would get like super worked up about something, when he would bounce back like straight away. Was unbothered.
But the TV wouldn't.
The TV wouldn't.
The TV was gone. The person was gone. But the worst thing was the way that he would drop. So that's the resilience, and then the adaptability is who you become afterwards because of the experience. Do you become someone who is worse off, or do you become way better off for each bad thing that happens?
Right. So that's even more important.
That's the most important. Like all of them are really important, but this is the one that
the result
determines whether or not you are going to transform after every setback. Every setback is a setup for a new transformation.
Right.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I'd say maybe in business-wise, I haven't gone through that. Is this, are we talking about business or like just like in general in life?
I guess we could say in general. We could say in general.
I have been through some.
You have, and you bounce back quick.
Yeah.
The ones that
And I think when you mentioned that adaptability, I have come out of it stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, just
always.
Yeah.
You've always stepped up instead of stepping down. Even though it's like you may have paused, but you've stepped up the next step.
Yeah.
See, for me, it wasn't always like this, because I remember, like, from the ages, especially of maybe 15 to 20, like, I was very much in a victim mentality for a lot of the areas of my life. And it was only when I went to, like, my first event, and they said something there that was a game changer for me, because they said that nothing in life happens to you, everything happens for you. So when they said that, okay, that means that every experience that ever goes against my way that is just a setup for me to now become better. It's shaping me as who I am. It's giving me lessons that I can learn. There's wisdom in every experience. I can turn the wounds into wisdom and extract the gold from the cracks. But I didn't really have that same level of awareness for a very long time. So it might be that, for yourself as well, like you've just been born with this, and some people are like that.
Think, to be honest, I think faith has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For me, especially, I'd say definitely a lot in that, getting between that point of what's that called, that, not the fortitude, the other one, the dotted line and adaptability. Is there a name for that? Between that 2 points, I'd say the faith is definitely a big contributor for me when it comes to that. Because even forgiveness, if you think about it, right, it's difficult to forgive someone, but if you have like faith and you know about forgiveness and the importance of it, it just becomes a little bit easier.
Yeah, of course.
You can forgive because you want to be forgiven.
Of course.
You also want to be forgiven wherever you wronged someone, or did so. It makes it easier to forgive the people that have wronged you. Yeah, I think definitely faith is something big for me when it comes to that adaptability, and even bouncing out of that low point. Yeah,
Faith can help with all of them when you think about it. Faith can help with all of them.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to see things from that perspective, as I was saying, that nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you. And
the reason for everything that's happening.
Exactly. And this goes back to the topic of conversation that I was addressing yesterday, which was how, everybody in the personal development world, manifestation, what I got taught initially was that you want to just think positive, and through doing that, you'll be able to attract what you want in your life because it's a reflection of the internal. As we've determined today, it's like you can't just be focused on the positive in your affirmation, because through that, the law of equilibrium will swing you to the other level to make you conscious of what you're unconscious about. And then when you eventually come into balance, that's where through alignment, you're going to have more alignment in your life. Now, the method of affirmations is not the most ideal when it comes to being able to not only get to equilibrium, but also to change your subconscious. The better method is to ask questions, because when you ask a question, rather than it being that you're saying something consciously and then unconsciously, that's the main expression. So, for example, let's say I state an affirmation. I say, I'm so happy and grateful right now that I'm making 10K a month. Okay, great. But then your unconscious mind says, but I'm not actually worthy of 10K a month. I can't do that. So rather, the better thing to do is to ask the question of, why am I so happy and grateful now to be worth 10K per month? And then your subconscious automatically starts searching for the reasons as to why you're worth that.
I heard this before somewhere. I think it was the Mind Valley guy. Is it not?
The Mind Valley guy.
Yeah. What's his name?
Vishan
Lakian. Yeah. I think I've heard him say that. That's how he does his affirmation, whatever. He asks questions.
Exactly. And if you look at him, he's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah. He's good. I like him.
I don't know how that happened.
I'm telling you that these devices are like listening to everything.
I'm switching it off.
What was it? A Mind Valley video that came up?
No, he's.
I don't know. My YouTube just started playing.
You just started playing.
YouTube just started playing a song for no reason. There you go. I'll close that off. Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday we didn't listen to any of the. I was dead, dying yesterday.
Listen to what?
Are you alive now?
What's that?
Are you alive now?
I'm alive today. It takes me 24 hours and I'm back.
You tricked me the other day. The other night, I'm like, let me just listen in, yeah? Let me just listen in.
Yeah, I was not feeling well.
And then she's passed me the phone. She's like, and then she starts snoozing.
Yeah, but it was the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now,
I'm glad.
from here, you coming out of the valley of despair. That was your lowest point.
Yeah, no, that doesn't. Yeah.
Was your line in the sand moment.
That's where the breakthrough happens.
I just put a side to it and push forward. Don't go back.
It just sounded like I was crying. I wasn't crying, bro.
Okay, if you were, man.
Does it matter?
Okay.
Does it matter? It's honesty.
Yeah, I was being honest.
Men
but
are
it didn't
allowed
sound.
to cry. You know that men are allowed to cry. There's
Yes,
nothing wrong with it.
yes, but I'm just saying it sounded like I was crying.
Why don't you just say that you don't ever cry because men don't cry? But I've seen you cry.
I cried, yeah. What was the last thing I cried?
Some movie we were watching, probably. Westworld, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
not West. Yes, it was something there. I'm sure it was.
It wasn't Westworld, bro.
In the first season, yeah, it was something.
When you found out
when you found out about Bernard.
Oh, Bernard.
I got having your neck hairs stand up is not the same as having tears. Like having shivers, isn't it? When you I get that.
Right now, recently on some program. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was. I remember something. But, yeah.
Probably someone died or someone's child died. That's where you cry the most.
Yeah, it could just be random. What film was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
We don't really do the affirmation thing, though. I mean, we had the positive stickers up in it, but
I took most of them down.
I think it's less about like just doing the affirmation, because that's one thing that you could have as a positive habit, but it's also seeing the power of your questions. Because
if you write down the question and you sort of keep it in your mind instead of.
Yeah, but also what I'm saying is that if you know the power of your questions, then if you ask a question that could elicit an answer which brings more negative thoughts into your subconscious, then you'll become more aware of that. So, for example, I've heard you on a few calls say something like, even though you might not necessarily be directly asking the question, you'll say, I don't know why I've just not been able to, get the answer I want to do. So what you're actually doing, because your subconscious doesn't know the distinguishment, or it just bypasses any negative word, meaning if you say that I don't know, or if you say that I'm not, subconscious does not care about that stuff. It just takes it with a simple instruction of what the words are. So if you're saying, I don't know why I am not taking action, what your subconscious takes that as is, why am I not taking action? And then you'll start looking for all the reasons subconsciously as to why you're not taking action.
Wow. Yeah.
What I should say is, why am I taking so much action?
Why am I taking so much action?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't keep up with all the action I'm taking.
Why is it just so effortless for me to take action in
Why
flow?
is it so effortless?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Then. Should write this down. Okay, we're gonna watch the replay. Anyway. Why is it so
How do you?
effortless to
Yeah.
take so much action?
So
This
easy.
is the
Why?
thing. This is probably why I never did that exercise. Because I remember watching that video, and I said, "Oh, this is good. I'm gonna try this." And then when I started writing the question, I was like, "Oh, that doesn't sound right. Like, is that right? Wait." And then I just like stopped. I said, "Okay, I'm just gonna do myself even worse. So let's just leave it." But the
Yeah.
question thing is good. You just need to know what the right question is to ask.
Exactly.
How to word it?
Because I know what good affirmations are. I also know what great questions are. And I also know what great questions are because I ask good questions in sales. So, for example, if you want to be able to have an emotional change, you're not going to ask a what or a how question. You're going to ask a why question.
Why am I so good at taking action?
Which will make you feel a certain type of way. Whereas if you was to ask a question of what, you're just going to think.
All right. Yeah, both of you are thinking.
So you just use why for all the questions, basically.
Especially if you want to start changing your emotional state. And the emotional state that you operate from is probably the biggest indicator as to how you will perform. So, for example, like you were saying on another call, like sometimes whenever I will try to do a video, it just never goes the way that I intend.
Yeah,
and I just don't know why it's not going the way that I'm.
I do say that a lot, don't I? I don't know why. Oh my god, I'm not going to say that anymore.
Yeah, but now it's like, okay, why is it every time I turn on the camera, it's just so easy and effortless for me to just flow out with like everything that I want to say? Why is it so easy?
Yeah, it changes the perspective.
I'm gonna do this. But like you want to have like a few questions, isn't it? Not like a whole list of questions that you gotta be rattle off every day. Just like a few, the most important ones.
Yeah, relevant ones.
So what you want to look at is where are you incompetent currently in terms of your mindset, in terms of your perspective, in terms of your outlook, and
Focus on those ones.
becoming conscious of what you're unconsciously incompetent at. Once you've become conscious in that area, then you're able to ask the right question to become consciously competent with how you're viewing that particular thing. For example, I don't know why, but I just like sales is really something of which I'm avoiding. I don't know why. Why is sales so attractive to me? It's
Right.
Find something in your book and say you're bad at it.
No, man. You're gonna get it wrong. Give him an example. He's
I've
gonna get it wrong.
I've misunderstood. Sorry.
So if you say
It's cool.
No, you don't say that you're gonna start making yourself go the other way. Like if you just say you what do you want to change? Like you think
Yeah.
the most. What do you think?
Or what do you struggle with the
about-
most?
Yeah.
Struggling with that.
Whichever you prefer.
But if you do have a righteous attack, I would do that cheap.
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
You can order it.
What
What do you think you're struggling with the most?
In terms of life.
Yeah, generally.
Connections. Right. But change.
opportunities. You feel like you don't get opportunities. Is that
No.
something you're struggling with? No.
Real.
But you're perfectly fine. You don't need
No,
any
man.
of
There's
them.
a list. There's a list. I'm trying to pinpoint the right one though, but I'm not sure which I'm struggling the most with.
Anyone. Just
Right.
pick one. Just so you can get like an example.
I guess, like I've gone for this. In this past year, I've gone for a course. I started on a course to try and change a career path. It was a business analyst course, which has really just fizzled out. I failed the exam, and I guess what I struggle with is getting on when I get to that point to
Get back on the horse.
to carry on.
Persistence.
Give up.
Persistence.
Yeah, persistence. You have resistance.
Like it failed, so I'm thinking exams failed, and everything's it's just now I'm in discussion with them to see what to do next. But
I guess there's two things there. It's like sometimes we are not necessarily good at something because like we don't want to be good at it. But then there's other times where you do want to be good at it and you're still blocking yourself from it. So, when you would have started the business analyst course, it's like you wanted to change career, you wanted to like just get into something that you thought would have benefit for you. But do you, out of everything that you want to be good at, like, is that something that is really important for you?
it's one of it's
Mhm.
one of, I guess, it's one of our roles, isn't it? As men.
To be a business analyst or
No,
have a, have a good career?
Yeah, a good career.
no, to provide, isn't it? To be the provider.
Yeah,
So
this is what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that like being a business analyst is one pathway to becoming a provider.
yeah,
And if you in your heart of hearts, like you're doing it not because you want to, but because you believe you need to,
Be the provider.
then you're not necessarily going to like have much natural drive and inspiration to move towards it. It's more so going to feel like external motivation all the time.
yeah.
So it sounds like to me that's actually a little bit more like misalignment in terms of what you're working towards and what you actually want.
Yeah, it attracted me because of the traveling. Sorry,
remote work.
sorry. Yeah, it traveled. It was remote work and
yeah, that was the most attractive thing about it, and the pay is quite good, I guess. That's why.
Exactly. So I'd say this is something that's a common theme with yourself is that you'll get marketed something and you'll be impulsed because you're conscious of the upsides, but you're not conscious of the downsides. So for something like that, like you're seeing travel, remote work, like, oh, this is awesome, best thing ever. But then you get into it and you're like, damn, there's exams, there's work, there's something.
Yeah, man. The coursework just, I don't know, it just confused me really. I was getting into it and it was just like, what?
Now, I think a lot of it was also you being intimidated by the other people in the group.
They were coming on, they sounded
because
really clever.
They seem to have more experience in the thing than you did.
And they'll take over the
talk. You just like, oh, I'm not good enough like them. So I'll just do my mediocre work and just hope it's good enough.
Yeah, but then life pulls you. It's the life
Gets in the way.
gets in the way.
That's all satirist behavior is
It is, isn't it?
everything we're hearing there.
It is.
Satirist doesn't believe in himself, isn't worthy of opportunity, and so gets into opportunities that are beneath him so that he will be able to feel whole, and then ends up realizing that this ain't the thing for me, because it's not really authentically who you are.
Yeah, 100%. You just nailed it. Nice one. No, you just nailed it. I need someone to say that to me because it's true. Like,
Need someone other than me to tell you that, then you realize, oh yeah, maybe something there.
Yeah, I think sometimes as men as well, like sometimes you need to hear it from another guy.
yeah. Yes.
Yep.
But that's where the biggest transformation can occur, is from the acceptance of the truth. The truth will set you free. It will liberate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It does. I've had that all my life, really, but yeah.
So for yourself, when we're thinking, going back to what we were just talking about in terms of the topic, if we want to rewire our identity so that you're no longer showing up as Satirus, but as Idris, it's like, okay, what's the thing there? Satirus is impulsive. He doesn't feel worthy of opportunities that are actually more in alignment with his real identity and what he's meant for, what his destiny is, what his purpose is. So what would be a good question here? Something like, why is it that I am most certainly worthy of the incredible opportunities that want me just as much as I want them? And why is it that I'm able to operate within my purpose easily, effortlessly, without any doubts or anything like that? These are the questions that you can be asking.
So you're asking not negative stuff. You're asking like of what you want, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the identity, but why are you that
But
person?
you just put a question in front of it. So your subconscious is getting tricked now. It's like, oh yeah, I'm already there. So why? What's the reason for me being there?
Yeah.
It's like in closing, we call it a assumptive close. So it's like, imagine that I am going to be offering you, to come into my restaurant, and I want you to come in. I'm not going to say, like, would you like to come into my restaurant? I'm going to stop you and say, hey, which one are we going to try? Do you want to try the chapatis, or do you want to try the curry? Like, it's up to you. You can offer either one of them. And doing that, it's like you're assuming that the person wants to eat food. You're assuming the person wants to eat from your restaurant. You're doing the same thing, closing yourself and just simply assuming that you are that person, but why?
Yeah, so your subconscious has to find the answers why.
Oh,
Yeah.
And hence make you do the actions that get you to that place.
As soon as you identify as the person, remember, being, doing, having.
Yeah.
You will start operating as the person, new operating system. You will start moving differently because you're operating from a different space, more certain space, because you've got the evidence. And then straight after that, what you have will be different too. You'll have more consistency. You'll have more momentum. You'll have more results. You have more
That's when
ease.
you feel that the outcomes are not always the same. Like you always say, oh, I keep trying this and this and that, but I always end up with the same result. Like you going back to where you started, and you kept trying, and then you go back to where you started. So that mindset change or shifting that subconscious of yours will be like change the outcome. Yeah.
It's a shift of focus is what it really is. So there's a saying which is wherever your focus goes, energy flows where focus goes.
Focus goes, yeah.
So immediately you shift your focus and your energy towards everything that you want.
Yeah. Never really done that.
No, I've never done this affirmation, the question thing, or not done it like properly anyway. So now I'm gonna try and do it like properly.
Yeah, because if you think about it, okay, so now you've got a game changer in terms of reacting to when are the best times to ask questions, which is whenever you're finding that you're struggling with something or whatever. Now the best question to ask, because it all comes back to the saying, which is the quality of the questions that you ask determine the quality of your life. So the best question to ask is, what is the best question that you can possibly ask?
It also makes you more conscious of when you do say negative things, like how I say, I don't know why, but I blah blah blah. So now every time I say I don't know why, I'm gonna stop myself. Oh, let me reframe that question.
Yes, that's a game changer. It's a game changer. Like you'll see yourself automatically doing it, and then be like, no, consciously not going to do that stuff. And then that's the perfect time to form a new habit of, no, why am I so good at this? Like,
True.
Another good habit that we can include in our daily good habits.
Yes. I'm loving it. I think we're on the last day today. No,
He's
tomorrow.
so attached to the first scroll now, he doesn't want to go to the next one.
It's wicked, man. I love it.
the second is better. Like I sometimes even skip over the first one. I'm like, nah, the first one ain't nothing compared to this.
But they don't get
To be honest, you're going to need the third based off of what we spoken about today. The third will really help you.
We're gonna look forward to the third one now.
Yeah.
Let's
Give it a
just
few months.
start with the second one. I think by Monday.
Monday. Now it's just about like opportunities. I'm just thinking about it. Like, where I lost them because of either mistakes or, but I've always had the ability to jump back up from despair. Like I've sampled that despair. I'll be honest. I know what that is.
But I think the difference what is still is that you don't do that. What was at the bottom of
But
the
because
chart.
you've sampled
you don't push
it
through it, you go back and you keep swinging between.
I guess because you've sampled it, you can be like,
this is familiar. I know what
this
to
is
do.
familiar.
I go back.
Yeah. So you just know. I know the roots back. And that's what's been the trouble, I guess. and then finding that way back onto that level field, and then falling again.
This is gonna be your best case study yet, Mo.
I know.
I know.
Yeah, I told you, you fully remind me of Dev, and I took Dev to being a monster. Like he really switched big time. But I love this. Like this is what, when I was looking at the opportunity, I was like, wait, so you can get compensated for helping people transform I was like, whoa, I'm going to smash this thing. Because I used to do that for fun anyway, without being compensated since I was a
I'm
kid.
gonna get paid for it.
No brainer.
Yeah. As long as somebody is like actually wanting to go through that transformation
That is
as well,
that is the thing. And taking
I would change that person big time, every time. So like, yeah, what you just said there about you knowing the roads back. So the biggest thing for men is that men are really good with the known world, which is the world of objects, the world of the 3D, the world of the familiar, the world of what's cool. Men are really good with that world. But women are much better with the unknown world, the zone of discomfort, which is why, like, even in the game of network marketing and like the game of personal growth, women tend to do better sooner.
Yeah.
Why?
I've seen. Yeah, I can test. Yeah.
Yeah, when they go into the unfamiliar and the unknown, they're like more able to surrender. It's part of their nature. Whereas for men tend to be the dominant, not necessarily the one that's in a position of submission. So what it really requires now is like, as a man to be able to surrender in that moment when things get most difficult. Because like I said, the key to elevation when you're in the despair is humility.
I've had that.
Exactly. You have to put into a position of humility and somewhat like almost desperate to a degree where you will go out and ask for help. And I'm thinking about like, going back to when we was in Japan and I just quit my job. We didn't have much money whatsoever. There was 3 or 4 of us, and the position of desperation that we were in was so much so that we just soaked up all the value from that event that we possibly could, asking every single person that was a leader like all the questions, going up into the VIP section, sneaking into these areas and like being where we weren't supposed to be, staying up late and not sleeping. Like we were doing all of this because we gave everything to be there. Right? That put us in this position of humility. So after that point, there was exponential growth. Because we were humble, because we surrendered, and we were like, yeah, we need help. and to say that is to say I'm wrong. It's to say I don't know. It's to say that, like, yeah, help me, guide me, direct me. Men, especially, are too prideful to do that, usually. So on the one side, you got someone who
like the discussion the other day, like when was it? Not last night, the night before. Like the whole of yesterday, you were like going, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have. What was it? Was it too late? I was just like saying what I was going to say. You need that. You need to do that. It's about time you do that and say, this is what bothers me and I need help with this. And then accept the help when it's offered to you.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah. But men are like, nope, don't want to be seen as that guy who
that cried on the thing, or whether you cried or not is irrelevant.
Or just the guy who don't know what he's talking about, the guy that needs help, the guy that's like not perfectly put together. And honestly, like, I don't know if you've seen the clip of Luke when he went on stage at one of the events. Have you guys seen that clip?
I think I but his early days. Is it an early one?
It was a small stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did see that one.
Yeah. So that was him being fully in submission and surrender. as someone who had so much pride for such a long time as well. But he was like, this moment requires humility and surrender. He went onto the stage, and you can just see how effortless it was in terms of how he spoke with no filler words, no ums, no arms. He just channeled through this message that was saying, like, for so long, he'd been so attached to this idea of putting in front of people on social media or whenever he was jumping on calls, a picture perfect version of who he is, because he didn't want to be seen as looking bad. And I tell you, someone who's like not been able to even move through this, that's really struggled, is Carlton. He says all the time, like, his biggest thing is that he has a fear of looking bad.
Wow.
And it's a masculine thing. It's like this thing where you're just so attached to your status and reputation because you, again, like, you're very good with the objective and the 3D, but not so much with the potential and who you're becoming.
Yeah. Who's that? Who's that? Oh, I think. You see, that's just all the time. It's like, it's not about me anymore.
No,
It's about
I'm
you. No, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing that you're never gonna get past this point until you move mentally past this point. So you either want to help or you don't.
Yeah, that wasn't directed at you. I mean, that was all directed at you.
Exactly. But you
Yeah,
keep
of
thinking
course.
that it's about me only,
I'm
and you're
not.
just sitting there on the side and just, whatever, adding your 2 cents worth. It's not.
I'm checking the time, babe.
No, you weren't checking the time because the time is on the laptop there at the corner. You don't need to step up to your phone to look at the time.
I was checking to see who.
Yeah, so don't hide. What you hiding for?
He's afraid.
He's afraid. Yes, I think so too. And you can't help somebody that's afraid and doesn't want to step up.
You can help somebody that's afraid. Can't help somebody
I'm not
that
afraid.
doesn't.
It's not that.
Well, can't help somebody who doesn't know that they need help. That's another thing as well.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Of course, but it's tough to beat.
So here's the question now: who's afraid, Satiris or Idris?
It's a terrorist, isn't it?
And what's he afraid of?
Idris knows, like, I know what needs to be done. I know what has to be done. But I guess that part of me is maybe reminding me, keeps reminding you, okay, yeah,
That's not for you.
it's not for you. Yeah, that's not for you. That's not for you. That's not for you. Times it used to get me angry, but I've just, yeah, you just get on with it now. I guess. Oh no, not get on with it. I'm like, I'm fine. I feel like I'm fine, but I know I could be there. So it's just but I don't know how to get there.
Okay, so what you've said is you don't know how, and that's a good question, right? So we look back at what we were saying before, saying I don't know how, why, what, like, these are all questions. So what's the question that you're asking here is how do I get there? Which is a good question. The better question is why?
Why do I need to get there? To be like, to not be in debt, to not have any baggage that you need to thing to be clean, clear-headed. So you're fresh.
I want
ready
you to, whilst you're answering these questions, by the way, like we're talking about you here.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're using the word I. This ain't me. This is you. So why is it so important that you will actually be able to transform here? And
to fulfill my potential, isn't it? To fulfill my potential, which I don't think I have completely.
and why is that so important?
So you can be the best. So I can be the best for Yasmin. So I can be the best for my kids. So I can be the best for myself. So that they can get the best version of me. At the moment, they haven't got the best version of me. They've got a version.
But why does it matter? Why is it so important that they get the best version of you?
Because they deserve that. They deserve that because I know that that person is good and makes them happy and can do a lot for them, like a lot more that I'm doing for them now. But I can do a lot more.
So I want you to finish this sentence. My wife deserves, my children deserve what?
My complete, my wife, my kids, and my thing deserve the best. Not the
best of you.
The best of me, yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Because then they're gonna be even more happy than they already are. You get that fulfillment.
You get the fulfillment, they get the fulfillment. Who gets the fulfillment?
They get the fulfillment, and I'll get the fulfillment from resonating that and knowing that I've achieved that. Knowing they can look up and say, "Yeah, okay, yeah, he's all right."
But like,
he's done good.
Fulfillment, like, why is that so important?
I've never had that, bro. I've never had someone say, "Yeah, you've done good." Apart from obviously close people, obviously now, but I'm talking about like people who have just saying, "Yeah, you've done good." Like, you found Islam, you've done good, or you've done this, you've done that. It's like, yeah, just someone to say, "Yeah, you've done good."
You feel like that's what you have deserved, is for someone to acknowledge that you've done well. Do you deserve that?
No. It's like, I don't know. I think I led it to a different path than I was going. But yeah, it's just acknowledgement, isn't it? From the people that I care about, or that I think of well. Like I think of them in a good way. So just I want that acknowledgement to say, "Yeah, you're all right," from someone. I don't know. You've done good. You've made good choices. Like a pat on the back would be nice.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying is like, do you believe that you deserve acknowledgement?
No. No one deserves acknowledgement, I think. No one deserves it. You earn it.
Why?
Yeah, you get kindness. Like I'll be kind to someone. I'll be kind. But I think acknowledgement has to be deserved, doesn't it?
Why? Like, as in, not why does it have to be deserved, but you also said that you don't deserve it because you haven't earned it. So what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, why do you have to earn it, and why don't you deserve it without earning?
We do deserve it. I'm just saying there's a
Okay. So you do believe you deserve acknowledgement?
yeah, we all do. We all do. But it's just lacking. That
Okay.
acknowledgement lacks in certain places which I find important, and it don't come. It comes the opposite.
Okay.
Always, all through my life, I'm thinking about it. Like we was thinking about it the other day, and it's true.
Yeah. So if you look at, like, you know,
I'm not meant
where
to be. I'm not meant to be at the top in my family circle. I wasn't, and because what I did, I'm not meant to be at that top. So I had to go and make it myself. Where I guess I'm stuck on that family thing where they help you, and I've seen how my other cousins have got helped in ways, and I didn't. So I had to go myself, and that's where I lacked because I didn't have,
support.
I didn't have that right support.
So when you're talking about family, it's kind of like what we were saying with Yasmin as well. It's generic to say all of South Africa, all those people are, racist, or it's not all of them. It's a select few people. So for yourself, it's not all your family, but who would you say are the main culprits?
My two brothers,
Mm-hmm.
every male cousin that I can think of, really.
Yeah.
All of them. All of them. My auntie's the most.
They're all gone now.
Yeah, bless their soul, but they never used to say a good word to me.
Okay. So, like,
But
would you say that it's been like that just after you converted to Islam, or did you ever experience this before that as well? Like, did you ever experience not receiving acknowledgement from any of your family members before that, or was it
no, it was
just
post. It was post prison, post Islam. Yeah, 2004 onwards. That's when everything changed. I think.
okay? I'm just
But I
thinking
know
because, like, you said that in terms of your family, it was aunties, brothers. What about your parents as well?
they've been the most challenging, but they've been the most. But they've been the most closest to me. They've been the ones who have been like supporting us, supporting me, but not with that. They won't say a good word about me, but they'll support you. They'll love and show love to my family. Like that's all I can ask for, really. But I would just like that little bit of, yeah, you've done, you're all right. Like
This is what I'm saying. So, like,
they
your
show the
entire
rest
life,
of my family love, but not me.
yeah, your entire life, you've had support from your family. You've had support from your parents. Maybe not from the wider family, but you've had lots of support from your parents, is what you're saying. Like, they've loved you regardless. But what I'm asking is, do you feel as though you were given lots of acknowledgement
No.
before you convert to Islam? Yeah.
Uh, no, like I said, being the youngest as well in the whole family, I was the second youngest in the whole tribe, like clan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just the joker, I
And
guess.
and did you get positive acknowledgement from your family for being the Joker?
Yeah, up until like that point, up until 24, up until 25, and then that was it. Things got serious.
So,
I had no problems, no issues, no. My life was, I had no problems.
so you're saying that everything was all good in terms of the way that you were receiving acknowledgement from both your parents up until 24, 25, and then they just switched up on you.
Yeah, they tried to bring me back year by year by year, and then I got married, and then things progressed. And I left London. I went Birmingham for 3 years. Had a disastrous first marriage, like disaster, complete disaster. Like it just, and then I had to come back. Went through a court case for like next 3 years. Well, still, but I met Yasmin, and she's improved my life, not changed it. She improved it. I wouldn't say she changed it because my life was as it, but yeah, she changed it, and she helped me. She's done a lot. So it's too much.
Yeah.
So I could just talk about it.
But do you feel as though, like, what I'm kind of seeing here is that there's definitely this bipolarity where, you've got one part of your life where you're getting lots of support, lots of encouragement from people closest to you, your parents, Yasmin. And then there's this other side where you're being shamed almost.
Yes.
And you're being shamed for, like, who you are. But you feel as though the first ever time that you felt shame was when you converted to Islam, or is that just the most recent one?
And that's the most distant one. Or it could come in the middle. I had some traumatic things happen when I was a teenager, yeah, but not something that I want to discuss now, but yeah. You could say that, yeah.
Which bit could we say?
I guess changing my religion was a positive thing for me.
Yeah.
Rebellious thing at the time. Something that was unheard of in my family completely. I'm the only one still out of everyone who has even looked into Islam.
Yeah.
In a positive way, which I find unbelievable. And I find that at least one person could have come up to me and said, "What is this? What did you do?" No one did that. They just took the piss and just shunned me. So I've spoken to my brothers, like a handful of, well, no, look, I'll be honest. My brother's he's had a heart problem recently, just suddenly, all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, 53 years old. He had a heart, something happened to his heart, and he's had 3 stents now put in. And I've been speaking to him regularly now for this past week, but just messaging him, just to show him a bit of support, just show him that I'm there. But that's all we get. Before this, for years, it's been nothing. No support. And I find that bad, like from brotherhood. When I see how Yasmin's family is, I find it like, wow, this is what it can be like. You can support each other. Not like not as friends, like as go out and see them every day, but you should just that support.
Know that they're there.
That support. Everyone has it, but I know this is proved to me that families are not your most like family members. They can turn on you. They can turn on you, but friends and non-blood relations can stay forever. And it's just I've seen it, and it's sad. And it's sad that Yasmin, I've brought her to see that. Like, she's come from a family that is all sticking together. They all love each other. There's no things. She's come here. She's like, what are these people like? Just shun people because you're a Muslim.
Maybe I've seen that in my mom's family. That's why I'm familiar with it. My mom went through the same thing when she became.
Yeah, it happens. It can happen.
So
it can happen. Yeah.
it's familiar for me.
So families, yeah, maybe I've maybe put too much emphasis on them to say, all right, I can, because when you've got a big group, you think you can get, each one can help you in some way. Do you know what I'm saying? That friends can't.
So this is the thing, right? If in terms of what you feel like has been lacking the most, let's just clarify something to begin with. Do you feel as though it is support or acknowledgement?
Support.
So you feel like you're getting more acknowledgement than you are support, or that you just need
maybe it's
support.
silent. Maybe it's silent acknowledgement. I don't hear it. Maybe they're telling other people, "Oh yeah, he's all right," or what. I don't know, but I don't just.
Yeah. So which one do you feel like is really just lacking the most for you personally?
Support, man.
Okay. What would that support look like?
Just being there, innit? Just being there.
Presence?
Look, my brother's got I don't want to look at what other people have or whatever, yeah. But my brother's in the bank. He's got a high position in a bank all these years. But like, I'm just thinking, all right, at least help me out with something, a loan, or get me into something, or get me an account, get me a bank account. But he's always kept that to himself and kept that to his thing. And it's, as I say, I would be different. I'd be like, okay, do you want a bank account? Come to my bank and I'll give you a bank account. Do you want a loan? I'll give you a loan. Do you want this? Do you want that? I'd help people out if I'm in that high position, especially a brother. And it's just been lacking in. I needed him for references. I've needed him for a lot of things, which he could have helped with, but there's no help. And that's someone that could have helped me, yeah. If one family member climbs up a tree, at least help the other family member. If you've got two brothers, that's how I've seen it, but I've just had nothing. So I get on with it.
So
is that me being selfish? Is that me being like, I wanted something from someone? But it's not, man. It's other people choose to help others. Other people don't.
So this is the thing, is that when you're describing support at the moment, it kind of sounds like you've said it could be a loan, it could be a bank account, it could be just a benefit that he gets from being associated with the bank.
Yeah. So that's what we need in life. In this country as well, we need stable bank accounts. We need stable things. We need loans. We need these things. I've needed these things in the past. So
Yeah. So it's like you've got all these things that you kind of wish he was giving you. And have you asked and he's flat out rejected, or did you just expect that he would give it to you?
No, it's just over time. I think it's just we've just lacked communication. So he don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what's going on in his life, but we don't know what's going on in each other's life. And I've got another brother who I've maybe seen once or twice a year. So I just think family-wise, for me, that's been the lacking part, and that's been the most saddest part with my kids.
So this is another thing that it sounds like is lacking now. So we've got lacking acknowledgement, lacking support,
Yeah.
but also lacking connection.
Yeah.
So out of the three, which one do you feel like is actually lacking the most? I think it's the connection, the support, or the acknowledgement.
It's not that.
I think it's a connection. You don't have a connection with
Yeah,
your
it's
father.
connection.
Because the other two would come from a better connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you sort of like I think like you said with you sort of betraying them, like they think of it as a betrayal, obviously.
Yeah. So there's no.
That it's put up a wall for them and for you.
Yeah.
For that connection. So neither one wants to drop that wall. Even if you drop your wall, their wall is still up.
But I'm cool. Like I'm getting on with my life. We're
Maybe
trying to
too
move.
cool.
We're trying to.
That's Satyrus, right? Too cool for school.
Yes.
But that's how you got to be, innit?
Cool,
that's how we have to be.
That's what keeps people stuck. It keeps people frozen and doesn't create transformation. Yeah, it's actually the warmness that shows the care. It's like, no, this isn't. It's that admission, being like, let me face what's going on, going past the denial, and going into the stage of anger, frustration, and eventually into finding meaning with it. So when you're looking at right now in terms of the current level of connection that you have with them, I actually did a thing where I mapped out all the different levels of connections that exist with a person. So I think there's roughly around about 5 or 6 of these levels of connection. And I just want to ask you, like, which one of these do you personally feel like? I mean, you said that there currently isn't one that exists. So do you ever talk to them? You said like once or twice a year.
Like the thing,
because
of this incident, you started talking to us, isn't it? But
because he's had this problem, I've been talking to him for the past 2 weeks.
Right. So there is somewhat of a connection that you've got there. So yeah, I've got 5 levels of connection. I'll quickly share my screens so you can see this. But if you was to look at what level of connection that you currently have right now with them, which one do you feel like it is out of the 5?
I'd say 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's familiarity there.
Yeah.
But
surface level.
Yeah. Now tell me, when was there ever a time where you actually had a better connection with them?
Yeah, pre-Islam.
And what would you say the connection level?
No. Yeah, no. I've never had a. I would say like proper brother relationship with my older brother. There's a 10-year gap between me and him.
Got you.
So he's always been like he was born 69. So he's a 60s child.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got that extra old head, mature, and then my brothers came. Then my next one came 5 years later.
Yeah.
And then I've come in the 70s, 90s. So you know what I mean. I've grew up in a different period.
So would you say that it's always been familiarity connection? That's the highest it's ever been?
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to go on holidays together. We used to go football together. Yeah, but there was never a come out. I never went out with them. I've never gone out with them. Yeah, never. No, I've never gone out with them. Yeah. That's mad.
And you feel like
You're left out.
you've never experienced much of an emotion. Like, let me ask you this: if you was to describe an emotional connection, how would you describe an emotional connection?
You feel something for that, like you've got some kind of connection with them. Familiar. It's all of that. You need all of that to get that emotional connection. You need the familiarity. You need the surface level. You need the energetic alignment. You need something to connect you with that person that says, yeah, love, attraction.
So here's what I'm trying to say here is like it doesn't necessarily say it's positive emotional connection. It just says emotional connection. So you could have a person who you're familiar with, but you've got no emotional connection with them. So there's just nothing that you feel around them. Whereas I could have an emotional connection to somebody, and we could be so angry at each other.
Yeah.
So
I always feel my older brother is just completely always angry with me, and Yasmin would say the same.
So it sounds like there might be an emotional connection that you guys actually do have.
Yeah.
But
I could say hello to him, and he could be like, "What? Why is that?"
Yeah. It's just that's the thing with him,
Yeah.
isn't it? You don't even have to say anything, but even if you say something, it makes it even worse. You'd rather just be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a trigger for him. If somebody is being triggered emotionally, then there's something there in terms of how they feel towards you, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you get triggered by him as well?
No, man. I see him.
What kind of emotion
I see
you get when you with Ilya?
I'm always on edge. I feel on
Fear.
edge. It's like I need to say the right thing here.
But
which is
we say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, with that, like that's also potentially an emotional connection that you have there by potentially like putting him on a pedestal and not necessarily seeing that you're worthy of being in that conversation as you are authentically. So the thing here is it's like, okay, how can you up level your level of connection with your brother to get to the point of being in energetic alignment, right? So if you think about what is energetic alignment is where when you guys are in your conversation with each other, there's a lot more flow. There's a lot more of a healthy dynamic in terms of how you are expressing your feelings to each other. It's a healthier relationship. It might not necessarily be a soul level connection, but it's still something where it's healthy. So, and it's still emotional. So how do you think you can up level from where you are right now, where he's angry at you and you are feeling the way that you are towards him, which is not feeling safe, not feeling like you can be authentic? What do you feel like you can do? Or what has to change?
Visiting, isn't it?
Okay.
You think it opened the door?
I think it even opened the door. Yeah, it's true. Oh yeah, visiting, isn't it?
You could visit him. What would that do for the emotional connection?
Just make him feel like, okay, if anything, we're brothers, isn't it? And we should be visiting like each other.
Yeah.
keeping that family link, I guess.
But if you just visited him, do you think you guys would then have energetic alignment, or would you just still have? Would he
No,
still have anger towards you? And
we do have different, like, we're not the same. I'm not saying I want to be friend. I just need that. It would have been nice to have that support at some point. And I know that what they think. This is the thing. They're disappointed, isn't it? Because I haven't followed their route.
which is how they feel towards you. So this is what I'm saying. How can you potentially get it to the point where now you have a connection with them, which isn't just an emotional one, it's an energetic alignment.
Like now my brother's, he's come home, maybe go and visit him, maybe take him some box of chocolates.
No, he's supposed to be eating healthy. I'm gonna mess his heart up again.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe take him something, just break the ice, isn't it?
Break the ice. Interesting. So it's like when you think about connecting with people, a lot of people are cold with you. So in sales, like we have our cold market, we have our warm market, we have our hot market, and it's ideal to work with the warm market, not necessarily the hot market all the time. The hot market is usually like people who are very close to you, you know, your parents, your children, brothers and sisters. So it's really important, those relationships. If you get warm to turn hot, that can be really nice because then they'll eventually, jump straight into taking action. And another way of looking at it is like, it's all like water. Energy is like water. So you've got too cold is frozen, warm is liquid and it flows, and hot, it evaporates. So you don't want it to get too hot. So what you want is, at the moment, you're saying you got to break ice. So when you guys are around each other, it's like you can feel ice. He can feel ice. You're cold to each other. Too cold, too cool for school. So now you want to be thinking about how can you break the ice, right? Some people talk about breaking ice, but when you think about breaking ice, it's like that's something that is very sharp, but all it does is it doesn't necessarily change it into becoming water. What it does is it cracks it and takes it into two. So now you've just got the same amount of ice broken in two. Ice breakers are not necessarily the best thing. Ice melters are. How can you melt the ice? How can you, with your warmth, change the temperature of the dynamic so that it does become more flowy and fluid? What would warmth look like?
I think just communication. Just keep communicating with them. Like my older brother's a texter. He's got on no social media, so the only way to communicate with him is through text and SMS, which is very 1960s. So yeah, I'd have to call him, or I'd have to go to his house, but they'd be like, yeah, I don't know. It would just be nice to have their support. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And now there's a question to ask before asking like the really great questions that can just open up a new door for you into the realm of possibility. And that is a question where you're just asking a what if question. Okay. So a lot of people, what they do is they ask what if questions, but they do so from a place of fear. And they'll say like, oh, what if it fails? What if I go to the door and he just like slams it on my face and I just end up wasting my time? What if I go and, send a text message and it just I get nothing back from it. No response, or just a rejection. All of that is going to give you the answers to support your question. Whereas if you was to ask what if questions from a place of faith, faith would be like, what if it works? What if from one conversation that I have, our entire relationship changes? What if they start seeing things different? What if tomorrow they have an epiphany and it's like, whoa, everything changes? Like, that opens up the realm of possibility now, because I would actually say that, especially if it is within your desire to have a good relationship with them, that by you not believing in the possibility that your
Yeah.
relationship can be healed and transformed,
Yeah.
that is ignorance to the power of God.
Yeah.
Because it's like saying, yeah, God created the entire world. He created me, created all these miracles, but he can't fix the relationship that, me and my brother have.
SubhanAllah. That's so true.
It's
Through the
it's
power of communication.
It's what I'm saying is that it's disrespectful to God to not be
hopeful,
optimistic, and believe in that possibility.
Yeah.
Because your job is not necessarily to figure out all the steps, right? It's to, number one, believe in the possibility that with the support from God, as long as you take your actions, that's what tawakkul means, is to take your action and then let him do the rest.
Yeah. Tawakkul. Yes. SubhanAllah, you're right.
So that's the question that I'm asking here now, is it's like, okay, what if it works? What if through one move that you make, everything shifts in your relationship, not just with your brothers, but with your entire family? So you're asking that what if now, and
Yeah,
what's the answer? How would that change your life?
like I say, it would just make me more content.
Yeah. More content.
But like having communication with all of my family is not.
if you can do it with your brother, then
Yeah, it's my
do it with
brothers.
anyone.
It's my brothers. My brothers.
Especially Ilya.
It's my two brothers. That's the
Very well
most important thing,
equipped.
because like it's my parents are getting like elderly, so it's and I've seen how my dad's family, I've seen how families can just split up at times of need, and it's not good. This is a time we need to be coming close together and
Exactly.
help, so no clashes and problems.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that it could be life-changing for you.
Yeah, of course it would.
All right. So if that's the case, then the question that you want to be asking is, okay, you know that right now there's frozen ice between both of you. You're cold with each other, and all you've got to focus on is getting some flow again, getting some water that's flowing in the connection. So all you've got to do is bring warmth into the conversation, the connection. Now, my question for you is, how can you do that? How can you bring warmth? What can you focus on? Not anything to do with how they'll respond, just you, and how can you bring warmth? What can you do?
Sure, babe.
Speak then.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I don't know how, like, we really are like.
Let me ask you a different question, just in general, not necessarily for your brothers. What would be bringing like a cold approach to bringing fire? What would fire be, and what would
At this point, a cold
Yeah.
approach would just collapse, finish,
Cut off.
cut off completely.
right? What would fire be?
Go
Fire
on
would be
holiday
like,
together.
yeah, like go on holiday together or go for a meal together or he'd invite me for a dinner or something. I don't know.
Or him laughing
Okay.
at your joke.
Oh yeah, him laughing at my jokes.
Let me make something a little bit clear for you then. So when I'm thinking about cold, I'm thinking about like there's just no emotion in the interaction whatsoever. It's just pure like I'm cold with you, heartless, emotionless, detached. And then fire, right? Fire is when things get hot, steamy, and there's lots of passion that's involved. So you could be passionately angry,
No.
or you could be passionately in love, but passion is the intensity behind the emotion. So what I'm saying is like if you was to now bring passion and there's anger and there's like disappointment, there's all these feelings, that's going to be dangerous. You probably don't want to bring passion right now. But you also have been doing the opposite, which is just no emotion, blocking it out. That's not ideal either. So warmth is a bit of a balance between the two, where you're not necessarily bringing full passion, but you're also not completely switched off. You're showing warmth. Yeah. So what do you think that might look like if it's somewhere in the middle?
Like we don't do me and Yasmin don't do birthday presents and parties and Christmas parties and the Easter parties, and we haven't really done that. So we try and avoid that. But that's not to them. That is the main thing. That's what keeps their keeps their identity, isn't it?
It's important for them, yeah, because it's part of their
With Christmas coming up now.
Yeah.
There's going to be something, but now with my brother, maybe he's not going to be as much. But there's going to be some kind of, yeah. It's like, oh, these two are not going to be a part of our plans. Their Christmas days and I guess that just resonates throughout the whole year. Then it's like, oh, because we don't see you at Christmas, we're not really going to invite you to things. We're not going to do you anything. So, but it doesn't help. That's how I feel.
That's how you feel, but I'm asking you a question not about what they're doing. I'm saying you focus on what you can control. You can't control the way that they behave or how they react, but you can control how you show up. So what can you do to bring some warmth?
Just say, can I come round? You want to meet up?
So here's the thing about warmth is that
for a tea or something. Just come round for a tea and just interact.
Yeah. So what I'm saying here is that like I could be cold and do those things. I could be cold and say, can I come round? I can be cold and say, can you come over? I can be cold and do some things that are very not cold and go and do things that are not supposed to be cold and do it cold. Because that's a cold person being cold. But cold and your temperature has nothing to do with what you say. It's about how you say what you say. From what place are you saying it from? From what energy? You know what? I think this is just leading us into the next chapter of The Greatest Salesman in the World. Like that, if you listen to that next chapter and you hear about what he's talking about there, everything that he's sharing there is just about warmth.
Like, as I say, I don't think it's the main. I wouldn't say it's my main thing, but it will just bring some peace to me. it would just bring some peace to me, and then I can go forward a bit more solid. I mean, because at the moment I'm kind of fragile. Like with this thing now, with the exam, I failed. That's it. I'm thinking,
But you know what it is? It's more about obedience than anything else. A lot of people think that obedience relates to the, doing your daily disciplines in um, five prayers and like eating halal food and these things. So that's like one form of obedience. But there's another form of obedience where it's like your direct connection that you have with God. So if God is like constantly pointing you towards a direction of which is showing that like this is what I want you to repair, but you're not necessarily going down that path because you're saying that, no, I think that it's not that big of a deal and I could be doing so many other things. And then you get into the busy work. So whilst doing that busy work, you are ignoring the instructions that are given to you by God as to like, this is what I'm ordaining for you right now. And how do you know it's coming from Him? How do you know it's not coming from another entity, the devil, or like certain demons, whatever? And I'd say one of the biggest things is it going to take you closer to Him, or is it going to take you further away? And if there's an area of your life right now where you do have a lot of emotional weight that's attached to it, it's kind of anchoring you down. It's preventing you from really having the connection with God, ultimately. So when you say it doesn't feel like a big deal, what I would be saying there is it's like maybe that relationship isn't, but what it's preventing you from having, which could be like an intimate connection with God, is that not a big deal?
It's very big. Huge.
Exactly. So the thing in Islam is like there's two things that you have to master. It's not just about mastering the activities that will give you a good afterlife. That's one half of the equation. But the other thing is actually being able to master this dunya, mastering this earth, and the key relationships, interconnecting with these people. It's about mastering, your self-awareness. Like that's a whole aspect to it. And when it comes to growth, you will have the maximum potential to grow in an area which is the worst in your life. So if you look at like, we've got this thing, we call it the wheel of life. And there's like your romantic relationship with your spouse. That's one key important area of your life. At the moment, from what I'm seeing, it seems like it's pretty good. You guys are most of the time pretty happy with each other, and
most of the time.
Yeah, I'm seeing smiles all around. Yeah, exactly. So that area of your life, let's say like that's like an 8 out of 10. There's not much to really work on there. Like it's already good. I'm not saying stop doing the things that are making it good. I'm just saying that it doesn't require so much effort. So to be saying that like, okay, I'm trying to just hold this area of my life up to ignore everything else is a lazy mindset.
Yeah.
But the person who is more obsessed with their personal growth is going to be like, okay, now let me look at other areas where some of them are not going so well. And what I'm hearing right now is that one of those big areas for you is your family relationships, right? And that familial area. So if that's like maybe not necessarily an 8 out of 10, but it's like a 2 or a 3, that's one of the lower ones to be putting your attention and focus on. That doesn't necessarily mean that like oh, you've got to go in tomorrow, like take it from a 2 to a 10. By no means does that have to be the case. But you set the intention, and you will start going through that process of, writing down your goals and asking good quality questions that can help you go into a better direction with this. Starting to ask questions like, why is it that me and my brothers are actually every single day like having such a better relationship with each other? This is incredible. Why is that the case? Why is it that I feel so much closer and more confident with them all of a sudden? That's how the mindset starts to change in that area. And before you see any physical change, there's going to be a mindset change that has to occur from you.
Yeah.
Because it's all well and good like waiting for your family to repair the relationship. That's a victim mentality. That's a passive approach. If you want to be a true leader and take ownership, then you're going to be the one that initiates the connections to repair what's going on. You're going to initiate those conversations and bring up those hard, tough conversations. That's going to be you. Even if they're older, even if they're the ones that it's supposed to be their job, it's their fault, you're still going to take ownership.
Yeah.
That's what a leader does. So, and what I'm hearing is like that's one area, but it might be good for you to just take a look at the full wheel of life and take a look at, now of all of these, which one requires most of my attention so that I can focus on the one where I'm most uncomfortable, because that is where the growth lies. There's no growth in the comfort zone. And where there is the most discomfort is also where the most fear will start to appear. And so you'll start to become more self-aware and recognize, okay, when fear occurs, what is my natural reaction? Some people will fight, others will run, and others will freeze. They'll stop, they'll procrastinate, they'll do nothing. What's your reaction? Maybe your brother's reaction is going to be they're going to fight. But it's your job as the leader to provide containment, to make them feel safe in that moment, knowing that this is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's important.
It is. But that's just one aspect.
It is.
That's just one aspect. I'll be honest. And then, I could have brought up another subject. Subject. But there's a few things I need to just piece together, and that's one of them. That's just it's one piece I need to just join together.
So this is the beautiful thing, right? Like, look at this from this perspective. Give yourself 9 years. I tell you why 9 years, because we're about to, in the next 15 days, we're about to go into a new 9-year cycle within numerology. It's a whole different era. And you could have a complete 180 in terms of your life circumstances right now, from now to the next 9 years. And what I would do is I would take inventory. This is what both of you can do actually, but take inventory of your life and look at your wheel of life and really give it an honest look in every single area: physical body, relationships, financial aspect, location, career. Like, just do an assessment, give it a 1 out of 10 for every single area, and then just simply set an intention for the next 9 years and start dreaming a little bit more. Start asking yourself, what would the dream relationship be between you and your brothers? What would the dream financial circumstances be for your life? What would the dream be? Don't be thinking about the debt, thinking about what would the dream be. If failure wasn't an option, what would the dream be? And just set that intention for the next 9 years, right? Because when you do that over such a long time period, it at least gives you the assurance that, you know what, anything can happen over the next 9 years because God can intervene. It's like enough room for him to do so many things. Like, the world can vastly change in your favor, but if you don't set that intention, you're not even giving him space to work. It's like you got God on the bench. Why would you do that? He's your best player.
Using as your main
target,
isn't it?
So this is the time between now and the end of the month to really like get clear on your intentions. That's a 9-year intention, right? But you can, after doing the 9 years, you can start working back a little bit, maybe doing like a 5-year goal, 1-year goal, a little bit shorter term, but it's just gonna steer you in the right direction is the main thing. And especially as a man as well, like you are the head of the family. Like you use your head, you use your brain to create a version of success that you're working towards, a vision. Like really, that's the leader of the family's role, the male role. So it's not just about you two. It's like, you know, what's your vision for your business over the next 9 years? Like, what are you guys creating? What's the legacy that you're working towards? These are the kind of questions that you really want to sit down together and be like, let's just do it. You know, let's actually dream up something massive and big and put it down on paper and let's make it real. And automatically from doing that, and you just constantly asking these questions as to why it's happening, why it's all working out for you, why are we so blessed that we get to work to this kind of vision together? Your belief is going to raise significantly.
Like a joint one, you mean like joint affirmation?
Yeah.
Be good,
because that's what a company does, right? And in a family, you guys are a little company.
Yeah.
When you think about it, you're one of you is like the CEO, the other one is the COO, or you're both the founders, and you are a company vision as well as an individual one. So before you do the together one, you do an individual one, but then you make a vision that's big enough to fit both of those dreams in.
Yeah.
That's how you really come into alignment as a couple. And then after you've done that, like you really be able to give each other the support and encouragement to not necessarily push each other into uncomfortable situations, but just, you know, give each other a slight nudge whenever the person is trying to run away. A bit like what you did today, Yasmin, when he was about to hide behind the camera and you were like, no, you ain't getting away with this.
Yeah, I think I'm done with you hiding behind anything now. We need to like step up now about things.
Yeah. I gave you time. I gave you your platform to flourish.
Yes, I know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But I'd like you to join me in the spotlight. Oh, thank you.
There you go. So she's
I was doing my own stuff, man.
That's it. So yeah, was. So she's done with you hiding, but the question is, are you done hiding?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Time to step into your
100% yes.
Yeah. That's it. Time to step into your greatness and start setting some intentions, some big intentions for the next era, the next 9 years, because it's going to be like
epic.
Think about it. Like your journey has barely even begun, and it's already, as you're saying, you're liking how it's moving.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Would you put some pedal to the metal?
Pedal to the metal.
Yeah, but the main thing is, if there's one thing you can get from today, it's like just don't settle for anything.
Yeah.
Don't settle. If you don't like it, don't complain about it. Write the opposite of what you want. Because it's like what I was saying actually at the beginning was this idea of the pendulum. When you're giving energy towards a thing that you don't like, you're actually giving power to it. And you're maintaining it in your experience. But if you can, for that area of the thing that it is that you don't like, get into a place of balance and equilibrium, because you are not focusing all your energy and attention on the negative, then you reclaim your power. The more you keep complaining about things that are external to you, you're just disempowering yourself, taking your power away. You don't even need another person. Like whoever is against you, think you is against you, they're like, oh yeah, he's being a fool again. He's like disempowering himself. That's great for us. They're all celebrating every time you do that. But each time that you decide that, you know what, I'm going to reclaim my power back today and take ownership for the things that I can change, I can control, that I can focus on.
Yeah.
That's a loss for them. It's a win for you. Don't want to lose. The game, don't win the wrong game. Don't win the complaining game. It's never worth it. Never. Win the proclaiming game.
Yep.
Proclaim what you want and claim your power.
Yes. Inshallah.
So do that exercise tomorrow. Start with the wheel of life, you said, innit? And then focus on the ones that are the lowest ones.
The wheel of life, like literally just ask yourself the question of these areas over the next 9 years, what's the dream?
What needs the most attention?
Yeah, so I'd say what's the dream, so you can find out what a 10 out of 10 is.
Yeah.
And then what's the reality, so you can find out where you are. That will help you to see where you are on a scale of 1 to 10 with each area.
So in each one, get the dream and the reality.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do the questions based on the least, on where you're lacking the most.
Then you prioritize the one that is the lowest.
Right.
Because simply by working on the lowest one, the others will all improve.
Right. Okay.
So if you think like right now, you don't like your finances where they are, but your relationships are way worse than your finances, forget about the finances, improve the relationships, the finances will improve naturally.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I get you. Okay. You go and have your dinner in peace without us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, as always.
Yeah, thanks for coming, as always. And
Thank you.
I'm going to make sure he does, like every home. I made sure he write down the 2 paper thing the other day, even though I was sick yesterday.
Yeah, that's the best part about your being in physical proximity with one another. Same way that mentorship is powerful when you're in physical proximity, but accountability, so powerful when you're all together. So, yeah, make sure you are staying on top of each other and
always, man.
Do it for each other.
Yep.
Always. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you
Sweet.
very much.
See you Monday.
What day is it today? Friday?
Saturday.
Is it Saturday today? Holy shit. No, it was Friday. But yeah, it's my birthday
Friday?
on Monday. So
No, it's not Friday. It's Saturday.
Saturday.
I thought it was Friday too, to be fair. I don't know why. Yeah, that's wild. But it's my birthday on Monday, so we'll...
wow, I don't do a video then. Happy birthday then in advance.
You think I shouldn't? I was thinking of doing like a birthday special. We'll see.
No, you should. Well, maybe, but not like a long, like 3-hour one. Just maybe like a short.
We'll see how I feel. We'll see how I feel, whether I show up or not. But I just give you a pre-warning anyway.
Well, happy birthday anyway in advance.
Thank you.
If we don't see you on Monday.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
Take care. Peace and love.
Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
Bye bye.